Welcome to the exciting 4th of July edition of American Warrior Radio, the place to be for news, notes, interviews, and current events for all issues military and veteran related. If you or someone you know has ever worn the uniform of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or National Guard or Reserves, you've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1060 WMEL, and online worldwide at 1060WMEL.com, sponsored by AVET Project. Folks, this program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present. So please get comfortable, grab a nice beverage, but don't forget a pen and paper, because we're always efforting to bring you important information that you can use and share with others. With that said, let's roll down the runway and get this show off the ground. You all know me. I'm Garen Cohn. I'm an Air Force veteran, a retired legal advocate for veterans, and founder of AVET Project. But all you regular listeners from Wyoming to Korea know that I never fly through the airwaves alone.
Good morning. I'm Glenn McGuffey. I'm retired Air Force, and I'm the retired manager of the Brevard County Veteran Services Team, where it was my honor to help our veterans and eligible dependents gain VA benefits earned by service to our great nation by the veteran. And I did that for a little over 22 years, and I've been volunteering now for a little over 2 years with AVET Project and American Legion Post 200 in 105 Ocean Boulevard, Satellite Beach. And I want to thank that great group for giving me a desk and a computer and a printer and all the things I need to get my job done.
Exactly, and I want to just follow that up. That American Legion Post 200, yeah, there's great posts everywhere, but here on the Space Coast, and I'm sorry if you're listening in Montana or wherever, check out your local American Legion post. But the guys over there and the board has been really generous, and they're actually doing the work of reaching out to our fellow brothers and sisters in arms. So a big salute to all you. Glenn, if somebody has a question, whether they're here local or maybe they're in Tennessee, and they've got a question with the VA, how can they get in touch with you?
Easy enough. You email me at Glenn, GLENN, at AVET Project, AVET that's all together, .org.
So Glenn with 2 N's at avetproject.org. And if they're local, you have office hours, you'll set up an appointment for them.
Yeah, if you want to come see me live and in person, I'll set up an appointment. We'll get together and go from there.
Okay, so we got a lot to get to today, and we really appreciate everybody tuning in to American Warrior Radio at our new time. That's 3 o'clock every Saturday here on AM 1060 WMEL. But remember, we're online live at 1060WMEL.com, and as always, we record video, whatever, these episodes, and we put them up on our social media platforms, including YouTube, so you can watch the episodes and share it with somebody else. If you come across somebody, if you hear something on the program, and you know somebody, whether they're down in Belglade or up in Wisconsin, and they may benefit from that, share it. Share the information. Go online. American Warrior Radio has its own Facebook page. You can find it by just going to 1060WMEL.com, click on the schedule button, and then go down to Saturday, and you'll see us at the 3 o'clock time slot. Click on the Facebook icon, and boom, you're going to be transported right to one of our social media pages. But there's so much more that AVET Project and American Warrior Radio has to offer you. So stay in touch with everybody you know that can benefit from regular programming regarding military and veterans issues. There's thousands of radio stations in this country, Glenn, and very, very few have any regular programming concerning military and veterans issues.
Yeah, I think there's tens of thousands of radio stations in this great nation, and somewhere around 4 might have a radio program devoted to veteran issues.
And you got it here, because this is American Warrior Radio coming to you live. So we have a couple of announcements, and I want everybody here locally, at least, and I don't care if you're in Orlando or Daytona, or maybe you're down in Indian River County. If you're interested in helping us help them, that's the new catchphrase, help us help them, meaning our past and present military members and their families. There's one really cool way you can do it. and that is a good supporter and friend of AVET Project and even the program here, Kel-Tec.
Oh yeah, Kel-Tec's a great manufacturer of guns, and they're here in Brevard County.
Well, here's your chance to win a Kel-Tec firearm. It's the PMR-30 handgun. It's a 22 mag. All right, you can get your ticket and help us help our military family at the same time by simply dropping in to Frogbones Family Shooting Center. Frogbones Family Shooting Center. What's the address there, Glenn?
Frogbones Family Shooting Center is 404 South Harbor City Boulevard, or US 1.
Yeah,
and the phone
right
number
here in Melbourne.
phone number is 321-312-4576. And let me tell you, folks, you may be confused about what's a 22 mag. You know, it's not a long rifle. It's not a regular 22. A mag is similar to a 380 in the power that it puts out. So it's a rare gun. So.
It is. It's in demand, and here's your chance. You can get one ticket for $10. Heck, you get 3 for $20. We're going to be conducting this drawing soon. We have to. But the money that we raise is going to help AVET Project, help our troops. So you get a great chance to win a phenomenal firearm that's supported by Kel-Tec, a local manufacturer. You get to go buy a ticket at an awesome place we call Frogbones Family Shooting Center. Be sure and say hello to Doug Torpy there. And again, the number, 404 South Harbor City Boulevard, or phone them, 321-312-4576, and help us help our troops. That's one cool way you can do it. Now, another announcement, Congressman Posey, who is been a very good, he's an ardent supporter of the vets in the military.
Yep.
He has an event coming up to honor the Buccaneers, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's the U.S. Army's famed 65th Regiment, also known as the Buccaneers. And Glenn, what's the date and time that he's doing that?
Okay, 28 July at 10 a.m. at 2725 Judge Fran Jameson's Way, Building C in the Commission Chamber. So that's the County Government Center complex of buildings, and it's in the center building. So that's why they call it C.
So, and you just show up, all right? Let's honor these gentlemen as Congressman Posey has a nice presentation for them that I believe is long overdue. So let's honor them. If you can make it out there on 28 July. Again, we're giving this information to you in plenty of time for you to save the date and mark it on your calendar. And I know the time is 10 a.m., so you still have the rest of your day. I also have to get a shout out, because Patriot Day is right around the corner. That's September 11th, remember? Well, AVET Project's Patriot Day Brunch is going to be held at the Cocoa Beach Country Club Sunday, September 11th, from 10 to 1. And the program is from 11 to 12. It's going to be a great program with music and some solid speeches from folks that have some interesting perspective on the day. We're calling it Patriot Day because we are overcomers in this country.
You bet.
All right, tickets are $20 for adults, $10 for kids. It's all you can eat. You can sponsor a family for $70. That's 2 adults and 2 kids. Or you can sponsor an entire table. That's 10 people for $300. It's the Patriot Day Brunch. Mark it on your calendar, please, and help us spread the word. It's September 11th at the Cocoa Beach Country Club. All the information and the details are on avetproject.org and our Facebook page and all the associated social media pages. So please save the date there as well.
Let me add in, I think Kim will add a big thing on your table if you'll buy one of those $300 tables. It's saying donated by.
Yeah, you want to get that recognition, baby. Let everybody know that table was sponsored by you or your business or a group of you. Maybe it's a community group or an HOA. Everybody's welcome. We want to see a great turnout there because it's going to be a wonderful event. All right, we got a news release here. And I look through the news releases from the VA on a regular basis just to see if there's anything I've missed in our regular channels. They haven't been real busy, not real active in the month of June. And here we are in July already. But one big thing that did happen is that Secretary Bob McDonald did announce the replacement of Acting Undersecretary for Benefits Danny Pummel with Thomas Murphy. Now, I want to just say, I want to toot the horn of Danny Pummel for a moment. He came in and did a yeoman's job after Allison Hickey was relieved of her post.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, he'd been temporary, so a replacement was forthcoming.
And he had only been with the VA since 2010, which is surprising to me. But guess what? The man who has left his post now as the Undersecretary for Benefits, he spent 33 years as an enlisted soldier and an officer in the United States Army. So hats off to him for doing what he could do. But now his replacement, Thomas Murphy, is going to be in the position that Allison Hickey had, kind of an interim slot until they find a permanent replacement. But we do want to support them as they try and make some much needed changes. There's a lot of stuff on TV right now, in particular, about how the VA isn't accepting the responsibility of, whacking the heads of those people that are bad actors. There's conflicting stories out there that the VA had an opportunity to sign on to a bill that would allow them some real power in getting rid of these people, but they didn't want it. And I'm telling you, people, it's union driven. I'm not saying anything plus or minus about the union, Glenn. I'm just saying the reason that the VA didn't get behind this would give Bob real power to whack the heads is because the union changed that.
Well, and of course, and if you read the paper yesterday and looked inside on like page 3, I think, you would have saw a big article that said that the crisis line was not doing its job as it should, and too many people were getting rotated over to secondary numbers where people weren't necessarily trained properly to handle a call of somebody who was experiencing a crisis. And they said things like too many people were consistently taken off early every day, and there's a management problem here, folks.
That's it. That has long been the issue.
And they're addressing that. They're got rid of the previous manager and they've hired a new one. But, like anything new, it's going to take a little bit of time to get it back up to speed. Or if we had that rule Guerin was talking about, you could have got rid of some people instead of counseling them.
Exactly. Whack their heads. Have them go clean toilets at a McDonald's, something. Get the heck out of the VA where your only mission is to do whatever you can to help our vets and surviving spouses and other eligible family members. I want to shout out the number there because we do this at the end of every program, but the crisis line, and I'm serious, we have personal knowledge of this system working.
Yeah, 1-800-273-8255 for veterans, press 1.
And that pressing 1 is supposed to, and most often probably does, let's hope, get you to somebody that is, if not a veteran, very closely related to a veteran and has a real appreciation of the struggles a lot of us go through as we try and reintegrate, as we try and overcome whatever demons are facing us because of our experience in the service, whatever the issue is. And it's not just available for the veteran that's sitting on the couch one night saying, I'm hopeless, nothing's going to change, I'm going to take my life. Obviously, we want them to make that one call. If not to a battle buddy, make a call. But even a family member, Glenn, if they're aware, or a neighbor or a coworker, somebody that is aware.
Friend, neighbor, coworker, anybody that's aware that a veteran is experiencing a severe crisis needs to call that line and get help for them.
Exactly, because it is a national tragedy that we're losing 22 plus. I know that's the number everybody wants to run up the flagpole, but let's be realistic. We know the number is higher than that. Can you imagine? Let's say it's 24. That's 1 every hour of every day. Think about it, people. 1 veteran every hour of every day, of every month, of every year is taking their own life. That's insidious. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's got to be stopped, and we've got to find an effective way of helping these veterans. This is one way to get the help to them, but you got to use it, and they got to get managed better.
Yes, for sure. And I do want to get a quick shout out for an activity. It's not a fundraiser. It's not anything other than a show of support. I believe it's on the 22nd of this month out at Vieira High School. I don't recall the specifics, but it's a thing that's being put out there from the county, a couple county offices, Surprisingly, not the County Veteran Service Office, so I'm not sure what happened there. But at the Viera High School, come out and basically be a part of a little ceremony saying we're going to stop this 22 a day. They're going to do push-ups, shake the hands of vets. It's on AVET Project's Facebook page, so you can find the information about that. And I do want to also say real quick, AVET Project's PR&R, Project Recuperation Reintegration Retreats for Returning Combat Vets, saves lives. We just had an extended version, our first extended version of a PR&R here recently, and we want to thank Zach and Stephanie of Banana River Resort. Those people are phenomenal. If you ever have a need for a large group or maybe even a couple coming into town and you need lodging for them, you give Zach and Stephanie a call. Phenomenal people, and you can't find a better location for whether it's a weekend or a retreat. Well, guess what? It's the new home for AVET Project's PR&R retreats that we do here. Now, at the same time, we have an annual pilgrimage to Oregon coming up. Every August, we go out there, Glenn, and we host a PR&R retreat, and we have great success because there's nothing out there doing it. There's nothing here doing what we do, okay? And there are programs, let's take a vet fishing or let's go on a hunting trip. Those are awesome. Let's go skydiving. Cool. I love that. But we get down to the nuts and bolts, and we give them counseling. We screen them for PTSD, TBI, depression, suicide risk, military sexual trauma, the whole bit. We give them a foundation of what their potential benefits are. We give them a nice, cool recreational opportunity to have some fun. It's a group setting. It's just a phenomenal program. At the end of it, they each carry away an IAP, an individualized action plan. It's just a whole program put together in a short period of time. We bring the combat vets in. Wish we could do it for everybody, but we don't hardly have the resources to do it for those we do.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is a phenomenal program. I want you to investigate it. Check it out at AVET Project's website and Facebook page. Big shout out to our team, the counselors. All right, PhD, he's a dear friend of the program. He's been a longtime supporter and volunteer with AVET Project. He's the mental health facilitator for the PR&R retreats here, and that's Dr. Scott Fairchild of Baytree Behavioral Health. You hear him at the end of the month every time, the fourth. Well, not the fourth. It's always the last Saturday.
Last Saturday, yeah.
There are fourth, and then there are fifth Saturdays. So, Doc, we love you. Thank you so much for all your efforts. Kat was phenomenal. Joanne, our director of counseling, and everybody that played a part in helping us have a very successful PR&R retreat this last week, I should say, because it changes lives. And we're talking about changing lives. The crisis line, that's one way, but get plugged into programs. Live life beyond the bumper sticker. I support the troops. We give you opportunities. We've even been, there's stone throwers out there, people, haters, whatever the new vernacular is, talking squawk about AVET Project. Oh man, they're bragging about themselves. Believe me, everybody is modest and everybody's humble with AVET Project, but I'll tell you what, we put it out there on social media or wherever here on American Warrior Radio. You know why? Do you know why we put it out there? Because we give you, the listeners and the volunteers and the supporters, an opportunity to help us help them.
You bet. And let me take this opportunity to say this is why we need your donations to AVET. It supports programs like this that help save lives, improve lives. Who in your community is doing that? Probably nobody, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, but the 20 plus a day vets that are taking their lives has got to stop.
Exactly.
So we got a couple little news nuggets here. What do we got?
Yeah, well, the first one is super important. Super important. If you get a recent rating decision, it will have with it a sheet where you can mail if you want to do a disagreement or first step in an appeal or anything like that.
Usually at the end page, last page.
Yeah,
or so.
Usually the last page or next to last page, somewhere in there. And it will tell you if you live in Florida and many other southeastern states, send your paperwork to address in Noonan, Georgia. Well, that's crap. That's been, for 4 months, that's been not good information. And I ask around, and I finally got the right answer that you send it to Wisconsin. Now, you can use that same sheet of paper because it has a Wisconsin address on it that that you send it to. They've centralized, VA centralized their place to send claims information and them to digitize it to a place in Janesville, Wisconsin.
They call it the Evidence Intake Center.
Yeah, Evidence Intake Center is correct. And if you send it to Noonan, Georgia, goodness knows what happens, because the post office has told me several times there is no such address in Noonan, Georgia. So I don't know if it goes in the dead letter file or what happens to it, but it doesn't get to the VA like you intended. So please don't pay attention to that. And I'm working like I can with people that work with the VA to get that corrected.
Okay, so where will they send it to?
To James, you're going to send it to P.O. Box, well, Department of Veterans Affairs, P.O. Box 44444, easy enough to remember.
4444.
Janesville, Wisconsin, and unfortunately I don't have the zip code right in front of you, but you can look it up or the post office can give it to you.
Exactly. So it's really important because, as Glenn said, what they're doing now to speed up the process, apparently, is taking in paper that comes in and running it through a scanner, digitizing it, and then farming it out to where it needs to go. So that's an important improvement, but we've got to figure out where it's going and when it's going.
Yeah, well, I've been plenty confused when clients come back and say, I got it back in the mail, or it took 12 days to get to the place and it went to Wisconsin. It didn't go to Noonan, Georgia. And I go check with the post office and they go, that's not a good address.
And for you regular listeners, you know that Glenn and I both help vets on a regular basis with certain issues before the VA. And when we have to submit paperwork, we're going to use the fax number, and it's even on those pages. But guess what? Even though Janesville is the appropriate mailing address, if you tried to use their fax this last week anyway,
that's changed also. I don't know how many people would use faxes. If you got a ton of paper, like most of the people I help file claims, why are you going to try and fax it? It's going to go in 20 different packets and greatly enhance the ability of somebody on the receiving end to lose some of that.
Exactly. So stay tuned. Check out the AVIT Project Facebook page, and you'll get the straight line on where to submit this stuff, because it's ultimately important that you secure your effective date, all right, whatever it is, or your response time date, whatever it is. Hey, before we end this segment of American Warrior Radio and get on to Light Up the Darkness with Soldier Hard every first Saturday of every month, I want to get a special shout out to the folks here at WMEL. From Vince, our program director and board engineer on American Warrior Radio, who's been with us for 6+ years, to John Harper and the graciousness and the way that he has supported us and allowed this program to continue. We really want to say thank you to John and Vern and everybody here at WMEL. Listen, don't go anywhere. American Warrior Radio is going to be right back after this break.